What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Come On Ref. I'm your host, Ben Parsons, and I'm here with
Harlyn Bush.
and we also have a new host joining us today. We want to welcome him to the show, so I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey everybody, I'm Aidan. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and today we have a pretty good show for you guys. Harlan, why don't you tell them what we're going to be talking
Well,
about?
we'll be talking about is very heavy Browns today. So we're going to talk about the firing of Joe Woods, a season overview, and what coordinator will fit with the Cleveland
Yeah.
Browns. So let's get on to it.
Yeah, it was definitely a disappointing season, as we all know, for the Browns. I mean, not the season we thought at all.
Mhm.
Obviously, we knew it wasn't going to be like a smooth flowing season from the all season we had when the whole Deshaun Watson thing happened. It was destined to not be the best season for us, but I'm hoping that now with all that behind us, it can lead us into the right direction next season. I mean, so I would say what would you say the biggest takeaway for you guys would be from this season?
The honestly and truthfully, I'm just from my perspective, I thought it was the whole Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah, I think
It got to the. I feel like it got into like the team and their mindset and stuff like that. Like it was a distraction.
yeah,
People say it wasn't. It was a distraction.
Yeah.
You could tell like the chemistry with the team was off, and it was just. I knew this season wasn't going to be that season,
yeah,
So, and the coaching, the defense was horrible this year. Like atrocious at the beginning half of the season. They started to get it together at the tail end, but at the beginning, there was no communication. We didn't see no leadership, nothing. So,
yeah. I would definitely say Deshaun Watson for me would be a big takeaway from this season too, because I think, like you said, that definitely caused their minds to be all over the place. As much as they say winning all that, I think that definitely made the locker room kind of all over the place. Because I mean, that's a huge scandal your team's dealing with. Even though like he's proven innocent and all that and everything. I mean, knowing your starting quarterbacks got those allegations against him is something that's hard to go play with. And it's definitely not the easiest thing. And like you said too, the defense. I mean, now with like we're gonna get into later more about, but with Joe Woods being fired, hopefully that will fix these problems for next season. But the defense, like we've said all our shows so far during the Brown season, I still to this day don't know what was wrong with the defense because Joe Woods was our defense coordinator not this most recent season, but the season before that, and we had a
we was
top five
We
defense
was five last
and
year.
almost the same players returned. So the question for me still remains: what was the real reason to this? And like we said during our shows in the past, I think it was a locker room problem, and we're not going to know that because obviously we're not in the locker room. But I think it came down to mental, and that locker room on that defense was not together, and that's why they need the new defense coordinator to try and figure out how to get those guys together. Because you see during the season, there would be those games where the defense looked amazing. They were making plays all over the place. I mean, they looked like the defense we expected this year. So I don't think it's from. I don't think the problem is from a talent standpoint because you've seen them have, you've seen them have those flashes during the season where they had a few games where the defense was just shut down. They looked amazing, and I think they can be that defense. You got the players on that. The defensive line, without a doubt, needs help. The interior, Miles Garrett, of course, he's going to do the same, but that interior they need to figure out a way to get more pressure on the quarterback next year.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't stop the run and we couldn't get pressure on the quarterback all season, and that is not a recipe for success. So they definitely need to work on the defense. I say that's the main focus heading into the offseason after they hire this defensive coordinator. I'd say they first thing they need to get on that is that defensive line. Find an interior guy who can create chaos in that backfield because we don't have that right now.
And get a nice safety. Despite Grant Delpit had a great year, but we need that guy in the back that can see the whole thing. John Johnson struggled back this year.
Yeah,
Tatum.
Yeah,
yeah,
he was a.
The biggest problem was leadership. Nobody taking accountability for what they did wrong. Everybody always blaming on somebody else, pointing at somebody else the whole season. Saw defensive players looking at somebody else, pointing, why ain't you there? The whole thing. Nobody really wants to take leadership. Maybe that's just getting Deshaun in for a full season. Your franchise quarterback got to be there all year. Maybe that's the biggest thing because he wasn't in the facilities for 11 weeks. So that's tough.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think they're going to get it figured out next year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, It sucks when they like your leader on your defense is supposed to be that Mike linebacker, and it sucks when we were on like our fourth string by the end of the year. All our starting Mike linebackers kept going out with season-ending injuries, and I mean that definitely is gonna affect that defense. But so far, I mean, we're definitely set corners. I think John Johnson, he definitely had a disappointing year. I think Grant Delpit will still be that starter next year. They might replace John Johnson, but Grant Delpit, look, he had his.
He was top 5 in safeties this year.
And isn't this really his second season, or
he had 4 picks. He had 4 picks. I think he had like.
This was really his second season. You're right, because he tore his Achilles his first year.
Yeah. So
then last year was like rookie year.
The DBs are set. I mean, I think Martin Emerson is going to turn out to be
the best
top 5 DB maybe one day in the league. I mean, he looked amazing during the season. He's the thing where it helps us so much that we have him is because he's really our only big DB. Like the Denzel and all them. Like Greg's not too small, but they're littler guys. They're lockdown guys, but they're smaller. Martin Emerson was. You've seen games like the Chargers. He went up against Mike Williams when we didn't have no one who could guard him because he was a bigger guy, and he made plays against him all game. And to get him in the 3rd round, I think he definitely proved out to be. No, he's our third.
Yeah.
I think he definitely proved out to be our biggest steal of the draft.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree because, and I'm gonna go back just a little bit. When they picked Martin Emerson, I was pissed. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was pissed. I wanted George Pickens. That's who I want.
I did too, but he was off the board by the time.
Yeah.
Because we traded out the 2nd round. Then he got drafted.
Yeah.
The 42nd pick.
Yeah.
We could have picked him, but then we traded out.
Yeah, we could. That's who I thought we was picking, him or Perion Winfrey. But we're gonna go back to that. Yeah, we got him in the 4th.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying, leadership, right? Last year, if you noticed, Malcolm Smith was that leadership.
I forgot we had him.
Yes, he was our
Anthony Walker.
Him and Anthony Walker, and he was helping Anthony Walker. He was a sub linebacker. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So he had that experience. And if you watch like some of the Built the Browns, he's the guy that's talking in the middle last year. They didn't have that guy. Walker was out. John Johnson, he's not a leader to me. He just had one good year. And Myles Garrett looking like it can't be my fault. I'm doing my job. So then Denzel's like, I got $150,000, so I'm perfect. Even though to me, Denzel had a rocky year, man.
No, I agree.
He had a rocky year. The beginning of the year, it was rough.
Yeah.
He was looking like Joe Hayden.
Old Joe
Hayden. For real.
Yeah, I think Denzel will be. I think he'll be fine. I mean, I think more of the problems came from that safety. I think it was
Johnson. Yeah.
I think the blown coverages were mainly coming from that safety group more than it was the DBs. Even though we won't ever truly know, but I think it came more from back in that safety because you see a lot of times the DB would let him go or something, and the safety be nowhere to be found. And I don't know. I feel like Denzel. I mean, I feel like he's a high IQ player, so I don't see him really making those mistakes over and over when you've never really seen him do that in the past. So I don't understand why he'd start doing that. It's like his 5th, 4th season, something like that.
And one thing I can say is our team is not a zone team. We're not the San Francisco 49ers. Straight man. And I feel like what's his name? Joe Woods was trying to emulate what he was doing in San Francisco. You don't have that personnel. You don't have them dogs up front. You have a dog and a puppy, and you got little poodles in the middle. So
they definitely
Chihuahuas. Well, Perion, he had a little bark. He was like a little scrappy dude.
I'm hoping he can keep his head straight because I remember he got suspended for a game or something.
Yeah, stand off, partying, man. I ain't taking any old crap serious.
He definitely is a party. I've seen.
Because to me, he's our best defensive tackle right now.
He's the most talented.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But we got to build that room up Tavion Bryan isn't the answer. Jordan Elliott isn't the answer. So I would draft somebody in the second round. Togiai is not the answer.
He's too small.
No.
I think they might. I think they're going to try and get someone in free agency.
It's a good defensive tackle free agency class this year with De'Aaron Payne.
And a defensive tackle class in the draft too.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't. I think they realize I think they're still eventually draft one, but I think they realize we need help now, and they don't want to wait. We don't have time to try and let someone develop. We need help immediately on that because our team is they're supposed to be in win now mode because I mean Deshaun's only gonna get older. Nick Chubb's probably in his prime right now for only two.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you. This is Nick Chubb's best year, but look how much times we relied on him this year. You keep relying on a running back like him, the same thing's gonna happen to him that happened to Todd Gurley.
Oh yeah, happened to every running back.
It happens to every running back.
Yeah, I think they definitely gotta get the pieces that can make us be able to compete next year. They can't. We don't have no more time for development, and I think they might let one of the other running backs next year because I think Kareem Hunt's probably without a doubt going.
Dearness Johnson's not coming back. I think it's
if they let if they let Kareem Hunt because I think he's going no matter what. I think Dearness Johnson might try and stay too because he might get that take Kareem Hunt's spot
But don't forget they also drafted a running back in the 4th round.
Yeah, it was 5th or something like that.
Yeah, 4th round. And he was a good running back in college. He just didn't get the opportunity he wanted. I think Jerome Corbett is gonna be really good.
He was really good at Cincinnati. Started his career at Alabama, transferred, so he's.
Did you watch his highlights?
Oh yeah, he's really good at it.
He's really good. Like that he reminds me of Shady McCoy a little bit. That little scat back. He could come out the backfield and receive the ball and stuff like that. So
yeah. I'm not sure who's going to get it. I think, I don't know, because, I mean, Dearness Johnson, as he's shown in the past,
I think he's pissed. He didn't play not one lick this year.
He's a good running back. I mean, he's shown that in the past. He's a good running back. So, I don't know if he'll walk or if one of them is going to get the spot next year.
Right.
I don't know. I honestly don't know who it's going to be because I haven't seen enough of Jerome Ford in the NFL. But man, sorry. He like you said, he was good in college, but that doesn't always translate to the NFL. So I think he definitely could be good, but I honestly don't know who will get that second running back spot. But I think that's probably the least of the Browns' worries right now.
Yeah, and with the guys we got in the front office, they like to go for the younger players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Don't be surprised if there's some surprise cuts on people that we be like, why they do that?
Older guys.
Yeah, older guys. Yeah. So it'll be a money thing. You know?
Money and analytics stuff. That's
right.
Right.
That's what I think the one thing about the Browns the one person I trust is Andrew Berry. I think I trust him to figure things out. He's proven to be a great GM, and I think he'll get that cap space and all that and figure out the right moves to make. I think he has. I've seen a lot of. I mean, of course, obviously after another disappointing season, the rumor is gonna come up now of if Kevin Stefanski should be gone or not, and that's kind of like a 50-50 right now. I think they're doing the right thing by giving him at least one more year and seeing with this new defense coordinator. I think if he has another bad year next year, he's gone. But I think I'd give him one more year too. I don't. A lot of people. There's people who said they wanted him gone this year and everything, but I don't know. I mean, he just won Coach of the Year 2 years ago. So I mean, he's proven he can be. I don't think he's a bad coach, but I don't know. I think
sometimes coordinators can just be coordinators and coaches can be coaches.
I just don't know if he's a leader.
Yeah, like for example, Dan Campbell is a heck of a coach.
Yeah.
He wasn't a good coordinator, but he got that energy. He get that locker room together, and they balling for him.
Yeah,
because he builds culture.
He builds culture.
When it comes to Dan Campbell, I said this in the past. I think on one of the shows, I want to coach because we talked about that in the past. Like, is Kevin Stefanski too? What was the word? Like business, like he cares, but he's trying to be too business minded. Like trying not to show. Without a doubt, I wish Kevin Stefanski would show more emotion because I think you need that in your head coach. But I also don't want it to the point of like a Dan Campbell type of coach because Dan Campbell, I feel like there's times where he needs to be more like business, like because I mean he's in his press conferences talking about like I just want to go home and drink a beer and all that and everything and all that. And like yeah, I get like haha, it's funny and all that, but at the same time, like you're like the face of your team. Like I wouldn't want my head coach in there talking about just he just wants to go home and forget about the game and lay down and drink a beer and all that. Like there's just been a lot of things he said where to me personally it, like didn't take me by like I'm like well okay I wouldn't want the face of my team, my NFL head coach, my $1 billion team, the guy who's supposed to be leading my team talking about going home.
Let me ask y'all this: you played football in high school, right? You played football in high school. Did y'all coach yell at y'all?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you have that type of coach, it makes you harder because they get on your nerves, and you like, okay, let me do the next rep so he don't yell at me. Kevin said, you don't see that. I went to training camp. You didn't hear nothing. The only person I heard yelling was Chris, the defensive line coach. Yeah. What were you about to say?
I think like the go home drinking a beer stuff is not what you want. Like as an owner of a team, you don't want your coach saying that.
Yeah.
But I think players want a coach who's more relatable. So like if a guy's just going in there showing no emotion all the time, like after a game just like same answer over and over, hey, we just gotta be better, I gotta be better. We've heard that every week.
Every week.
So Dan Campbell 1 week saying, hey, I'm just gonna go home and drink beer, I gotta forget about this one.
Yeah, it was a blowout.
Some of his players gonna be like, okay.
I relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm gonna try to do. Because I played bad today, I'm gonna try to forget about it so I can be better next week.
Yeah.
So I just think they want somebody that's more relatable. And if you're not gonna be relatable, you at least have to have people on your staff that are relatable, right? So Joe Woods,
Soft spoken,
never seen him get mad or get on somebody. We don't even really know who our offensive coordinator is like that.
And they keep mentioning this guy from Seattle. If y'all really watch, I want y'all to look him up.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from Seattle, the defensive coordinator they're trying to get for the defensive coordinator position. He's the same thing like Joe Woods.
Well, he's the same thing, and they run the same scheme. It's like they run the cover 3 base.
We didn't run the cover 3. We ran the base 4-3.
Well, I'm talking about out of 4-3 with the cover 3 base.
Right.
So we didn't have to blitz anybody. We just came off our line, but we don't have the linemen to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I think they like going back to I think they just got to find the right guy. Like you got to find a guy who's like a good mix of like a Dan Campbell and Kevin Stefanski. Like you want a guy who's fired up and all that, but can also be professional and all that. Like
I like Gerard Mayo. That for real. I really do like Gerard Mayo because look what he's doing with New England on that defense.
I agree.
And he's a coordinator.
I know.
Flores is not a coordinator. You all know that, right?
Flores was a coordinator and was a head coach.
He was a head coach.
Yeah, when he was coaching, he called the play.
I think I heard the leading guy is Flores.
I'm a Flores guy.
I want Flores, honestly.
He's a big go after sack guy. I'm gonna blitz you.
Yeah.
I want somebody who's aggressive, and he's a man. He runs a lot of man.
Yeah.
That's what we are. So I'd rather have somebody that's gonna do that and blitz because we don't have the lineman except for Myles Garrett.
And he'll mix it up. Like you'll have Myles Garrett stand up sometimes. You'll have Myles Garrett in the position.
Yeah. So, speaking of Myles Garrett switching around with that, we got another player who we're gonna have to position, Clowney. He got mad because of things of what you said of them moving Myles Garrett around. Clowney said like, "Oh, it's taking like you're taking snaps away from me and all that." But I mean, at the end of the day, like, like Clowney's not that guy anymore. Like he's not elite anymore.
He was a literally one hit wonder.
He's not that guy anymore. I mean, he did all right.
9.5, yeah.
And like,
I still think Olivia Vernon is better than him. That's just my opinion.
Clowney's just I don't think Clowney's elite anymore. I think he's your average pass rusher. Yeah. So I don't think he has that say.
We need
put me out there. Let me get the match.
We need like a DeForest Buckner type defensive lineman. He can play inside and outside. He's that big end. Yeah. Yeah. You know, but I'm just saying, I understand like a Campbell, Calais Campbell. Even he's old. Put him in the middle. 6'8", 3 something.
Yeah.
Stop
No,
the run, man.
they definitely. I mean, Clowney. I don't know what he expects to find. If you can't have an amazing season when you're on the same team as Myles Garrett, because that they're having to double team him, so you should be winning your matchup every time because you're going to be 1-on-1. Then he's not going to have a good season anywhere else. So unless he gets picked up by the Steelers or the 49ers, then he's not having no elite pass rusher that's on like the same level as Myles Garrett. So because he's not, unless he's like I said, the Steelers with TJ Watt or the 49ers and Nick Bosa and all that, then good luck to him because I don't think he's doing anything. If he's your main pass rusher, oh, your team's in trouble. Your team's in trouble. He's getting 4 sacks at most. Because if he's the guy they're going to focus on, he's doing absolutely nothing.
I like the line we had, like when we have Olivier Vernon, Sheldon Richardson, and I forgot the other guy. They got to the ball. They got to the ball.
Ogunjobi was good.
Yeah, that was a
was
real
good.
solid.
Is he on the Bengals now?
No, he's on the Steelers.
Yeah, he was the one who face masked Deshaun last week of the season.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and didn't they not call it?
Yeah, when they grabbed him down, I'm like, that's a face mask. Obviously, it was a lot of bad calls in that game.
And I seen there was a show on today of people saying like, is Myles Garrett? Would you trade Myles Garrett and all that? And I'm like, bro.
Oh, you heard about that?
Yeah.
So like the Chicago.
No, like pick? It was just this show. They were just talking about like, would you trade him and all that. They weren't even talking about the first pick or anything. They were just saying. They said, yeah, I think like you'd get 2 first-rounders for him. And I'm like, bro, if you what thought has gone in anyone's mind of trading Myles Garrett? I don't think he's getting. There's not a doubt there in my mind that he's not getting traded.
If things are the same, like how it was this year, next year I won't be surprised. If I'm being honest because it's been long enough.
Because here's the thing, at some point you're gonna have to cut your losses if you're not good next year, right? Because we traded everything for Deshaun. We traded 3 first-round picks, all that. So you got to start recuperating your picks. How you gonna do that? Train your best players. So Miles gonna go. We're gonna go into a full rebuild again.
I don't think they go into a rebuild at all. After this signing Deshaun Watson, I think that's the last thing they'll do. I think they're
gonna play with the money. They're gonna.
But I don't think there is no way in the world.
I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about
like I don't even think
playoffs next year again.
Oh, I think Miles is gone. Honestly,
I think he stays. I think
you think so?
Yes, because he's that type of guy. If you see Myles Garrett all throughout his career, he's not the type of guy who's like, oh, just trade me. He's not like he's never been that causes problem in the locker room, and I don't think there's any way because the Browns they're gonna. He's not gonna. No, there's no. Myles Garrett is not gonna get traded. I don't think he asked for a trade, and I don't see any way in the world he leaves. Besides when his contract is up, if maybe in free agency he decides something, but I don't see. I mean, he's got.
So you saying if they struggle again like they struggle this year, you don't think he's gonna?
I don't think at all. I think he's got a huge contract, so he's making his money no matter what. I mean, he's performing.
At the end of the day, Myles Garrett, he's a great pass rusher, but at some point in your life, when you're in your prime, you want that ring.
Yeah,
you want that ring. You don't want to be on a bad team.
You only get defensive player of the year on good teams too.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get it being on a bad team. You're not gonna get a ring being on a bad team.
Well, look at all the. It's probably gonna win defensive
this year.
Yeah. Look at all the good defensive linemen. Khalil Mack. Each place he was at, except for where he's at now, he didn't enjoy being there. He asked for trades, right? They was trying to build it up with the Raiders. They didn't pan out. And
Khalil Mack was only.
Khalil Mack was
that guy
for a little while.
Yeah, but only he's been out his prime for like the past 3 seasons.
You think so?
What do you got? 10 plus this
year? Yeah, he got 10 plus.
No.
Yes, he did.
Khalil Mack,
bro.
There's no
Mack bought out this year.
Let's see how much he had this year. I didn't hear not one thing about clue.
Nobody heard nothing about the Raiders except for Derek Carr being
Who
benched.
Yeah, 8.5.
See, no, he definitely. That is
He
not
was close.
That is not no elite
Close.
level.
I think he missed like 4 games this year too.
That is not no elite level.
He also
But
played Joey Bosa.
when it comes down to it, there's no way in the world Myers Garrett's walking away from this team. I think
there is.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with that's why I hate watching sports shows and all that. And so many Brown fans are like that. When the Browns start losing, they start going into like freak out mode and we're done, we're over. The whole team's the Browns are never gonna be good. The whole team's gonna go.
It's not that, man. It's what you see is what you get, right? And if you are consistently losing, you get millions of dollars. I would love to have millions of dollars.
What this is the thing too. I don't think you realize how big Myers Garrett. What good team can afford Myers Garrett contract? None of them.
But they can move money.
No, there's no team that's going to the Super Bowl this year can afford Myers Garrett. They are playing.
He doesn't have the biggest defensive end.
Yes, he does.
He has the biggest defensive
Yes,
end.
in NFL history, he signed the biggest deal. His contract is huge.
I thought Denzel Ward's contract was bigger than his.
No, Myers Garrett signed the biggest. No team that's going to the Super Bowl this year can afford Myers Garrett. That's why he's not going to leave. He's not going to.
Here's the thing though with that. But everybody can move money.
No, but you're going to have to move way too. A good roster. You have a lot of good players on the team. You have your team. Your money's well balanced. You have. If you're going to the Super Bowl, you have a good team. You have, your front office and all that is good and everything. So to sign a player like Myers Garrett, you're going to have to clear out at least 5 of your starters because I guarantee there's no name. Look at that Eagles roster, okay? So a team like that, their money, there's no way in the world they could afford a $130 million contract.
They could right now. Let me
No.
show you. Let me show you.
Jalen Hurts is still on a rookie deal.
And your money rolls back till the following year. You know, when you're in the penalty, it can go back the following year.
There is no way in the world.
I don't think ways now
not.
The Bengals right now. Joe Burrow on a rookie deal. Jamar Chase on a rookie deal. T. Higgins on a rookie deal. The only person they're paying is Joe Mixon.
No,
so you realize these rookie deals are end. So what happens when in a year when I'm pretty sure Joe Burrow's already paid.
Yeah,
but he's already signed his contract.
But look at the Browns though. They got a $230 million quarterback, right?
Yeah.
A $150 million corner, right? Right. Yeah. And Myles Garrett. All those guys together. Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb doesn't have a big contract at all.
He's like the
third most. Then we got
Nick Chubb.
And the left tackle. The left tackle just got Conklin. Look at all the money we got, and we still got money.
We don't. The Browns have no cap space.
They're gonna make cap space though.
We have 0 right now. I'm pretty sure we're behind. The Browns
I think they got
any. No.
We have 1 point something, but we couldn't make it 36 by the end of the season.
Yeah.
The Browns have no cap space right now. They have a lot of work they have to do. Well, I'm telling you right now, there's no way in the world.
They're not gonna trade. I'm not saying they're gonna trade Myles Garrett this year. I'm saying if they struggle or even worse than it was this year, I can see him leaving, saying I want to be traded.
No.
I could definitely see it.
Yeah.
No.
I know you don't want to see it.
No,
bro.
I just know that's not gonna happen. I know no big. That's like when have you seen a player with a ginormous contract like his caliber, or like that's like saying why didn't Aaron Donald ask for a trade? He just won 4 games.
Yeah, but
and they're not looking. They're only getting worse. They're only gonna get worse.
Well, he might retire though. He might retire.
He probably will retire soon, but still, he's like with when it comes to the
Aaron Donald is better than
right now.
Yes.
No,
still right now, yes. Be honest. No. He's the only person on that defense. Him and Jalen Ramsey. That's it. You can't name nobody else on that.
Not right
defense.
now. Maybe in his prime he was, but he's out of his prime right now.
Who? Miles was better than Donald?
Aaron Donald was better than him last year.
They had Aaron Donald's out of his prime. He's probably only going to play maybe. There was talks of him retiring last year
because he won the chip.
He's out of his prime.
He's not.
Yes, he is. Look up how many sacks Aaron Donald had. I'm going to show you right now.
This is a good show. It's tense, man.
Aaron, if you think Aaron Donald had 5 sacks. 5 sacks last year. That's your elite. This year. The season's over. Well, for the non-playoff teams. But 5 sacks, that's your elite guy. He's out of his prime now. He's not trash. I'm not saying he's trash, but he's out of his prime. And honestly, I'm surprised he didn't retire after the season they had because they're not looking like a good team anymore. That team had the biggest apart. They completely fell apart. And now they're talking about Sean McVay. It's looking like he's going to leave, honestly. He's looking at he's looking like to go for a broadcasting job. And when reporters asked him and all that and everything, he kind of just
a franchise quarterback might not ever play another down.
Yeah, and he was not even elite himself. Like he played all right last year, but that team was solely surrounded by
Stafford.
Yes, last year he played.
Wasn't Stafford like 5 yards and touchdowns last year?
No, he was not. They had Cooper Kupp, who completely put that team, the offense on his back.
Can I ask you something though? Before Matthew Stafford got there, how good was Cooper Kupp?
He was good. He was always good.
Solid.
He was solid.
Yeah.
Was he the best receiver in the league? No.
He was up there.
D-Hop was the best.
And
the best receiver in the league changes every year.
I know.
Every receiver.
I don't think Justin Jefferson is the best receiver to me.
I think he is now.
Because of the stats?
No, because of the plays he makes. You watch that dude's highlights, he's proven to be the best in the league.
Okay.
There's a point in time where the young guys always come up and take over. Like they said, who said it? I'm trying to remember. Tyreek Hill. He said it himself in a podcast, and he said people don't realize. He was like, these receivers are no receiver. He's like, these receivers in the NFL are not bad. He's like, people always ask, like, what's your top 5 and all that? And he said himself, he was like, the receivers, like, he was like, there's so many great guys out here who are better than everyone imagined. He's like, you get on a team with a good quarterback and in the right offense, he's like, any receiver in the NFL can flash. He said that himself in the podcast. Yeah. So the top receiver, I mean, yeah, you have your guys who are just on, like, another level. But there's a point where the young guys always come up and it's always happens. At some point, it's always going to happen. I think this was the year where you see Justin Jefferson. I think he's only going to continue to be good, get better, and the plays that dude make, were ridiculous. So that fourth down catch, you're going to tell me that wasn't the best receiver in the NFL type of catch?
Yeah.
I know you remember what catch I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but let me.
So who's your best receiver?
Let me spit some facts out.
Just tell me this. Who's your best receiver this year?
My best receiver?
Yeah.
Honestly and truthfully? Jamar Chase. But hold on, let me explain.
He's definitely
something.
Ridiculous too, but I think overall.
Who was the Rams offensive coordinator last year? Don't say nothing. Who
last year? Yeah. Doesn't Sean McVay call their plays?
No, it wasn't Sean McVay. Kevin O'Connell. Right? They had the number 1 offense last year, right? Who has the number 1 offense this year? Minnesota Vikings. That same playbook they had.
I'm pretty sure Sean McVay was their offensive coordinator.
It was Kevin O'Connell. I'm trying to tell you. Kevin O'Connell came from the Rams. He ended up getting.
But who calls the plays? Because
Kevin O'Connell was calling the plays last year. It was that playbook. You get what I'm saying? And Cooper Kupp had his best year in that offense. With Matthew Stafford. And that same offense is with Kirk Cousins. Yeah. And look at it's the same exact offense they ran.
Cooper Kupp was getting those numbers with anybody.
Tyreek, because look what he did with Tua and that offense. Was that offense ever good before Tyreek got there? And he did what?
He's about to take.
No, Tyreek Hill was not the best receiver. Tyreek Hill is the fastest receiver, and he's a good receiver. But if it wasn't. No, he won't. No receiver in the league cracked 2,000 yards, I don't think. Oh my. No, he was not. Tyreek Hill was not. Who got the receiving yards crown this year? Exactly. He was not. Justin Jefferson. And he missed games too. This is where you guys are. He has Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. Kirk Cousins.
Tua, we taking
Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, who is like 35 years old, beyond out of his prime, was never even a great quarterback. He was always just an average quarterback.
Stafford wasn't a great quarterback.
Yes.
Look at the offense.
Matthew Stafford was a good quarterback. He was the only good part of the Lions before he left.
Right.
Matthew Stafford, when he had what's his name, Megatron, Calvin Johnson, that team was elite.
Of course.
Exactly. Matthew Stafford was never a bad quarterback. He was a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's a team. He led them to a Super Bowl. Yes, he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's there. I seen an argument last year. Haven't heard much about this year because they're bad. Is Matthew Stafford worthy of the Hall of Fame? And I don't think he is.
Yeah.
But
wow,
because I don't think he won one Super Bowl, but to me, he never was that elite top 3 quarterback in the league.
but they never built a good. But the size.
I get he was on a bad team and all that and everything, but I don't think there's any way in the world.
Top 5 seasons, don't he?
Yeah.
He's like
There-
top 10 in every throwing stat, I think.
Top 10, we're putting the top 10 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. If you
A
top 10 with the Super Bowl, yeah, you go to the Hall of Fame.
He's not. Matthew Stafford is not top 10 of all time. So you're
Do you think Ben Roethlisberger's top 10 of all time?
Ben Roethlisberger? No, I don't think
He's
so.
going to the Hall of Fame.
Well, he won multiple Super Bowls, and he was a way better quarterback in his prime than Matthew Stafford ever was.
He won.
He won more than one. He won more than one Super Bowl.
The Cardinals and he lost to Green Bay.
I'll look it up real quick. I'm almost positive he won.
Yeah, he won one with Cowher. Bettis last year. Remember Jerome Bettis last year? It might be 1 or 2.
I'll try and look it up.
So, but
He is 2.
it's cool.
Yeah, he is 2. But
if Matthew Stafford ain't got to be a first ballot Hall of Famer,
he's not making the Hall of Fame unless especially after the season they had this year, where they did absolutely terrible after winning the Super Bowl. I've never seen. They were not good from the start. I mean, from the first game, yes, they played the Bills, but they looked terrible.
He had a severe nerve injury.
But still, yeah, I get that. But he wasn't like that at the beginning of the season, and they were doing bad from the start of the season. I think they started off like I don't know the record, so I don't know what they started. But they
lost the very first.
I know they started off the first, but I thought they started off like 0-4 or something like that even. But they started off bad. But the whole point of this is Matthew Stafford. I'm telling you, unless he figures out a way unless they turn this around next year, which I don't think there's any shot they will, because he's only getting older. How old is he now? Like 33, something like that. Exactly. So his prime is gone. So he's only getting older, and I don't see him making the Hall of Fame unless they figure out a way to turn this out, because there is way better quarterbacks who I'd put in the Hall of Fame over him.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback?
He's an all-right quarterback. I think he's good enough that he's leading this team down the road, because their team is not based off your team. However good your team is going to be, it's all based off the type of team you are. And with the offense they have and the defense they have, you don't need an elite quarterback to lead that team to a Super Bowl. When you have a person like Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, don't forget about Adam Thielen. He's still one of the top receivers in the league. When you have them and a freak athlete in Justin Jefferson, who, as you've seen on that 4th down play, who's done all year, you throw it up to him, he's going to get that ball. You don't need an elite quarterback to lead that roster. Now, if they imagine that team with an elite roster. They might. I mean, I don't think every team's going to end up losing one game, but I don't think they lose more than 3 games. And what was the record this year? Exactly, the Vikings. If they had
13-4.
Somewhere around there. But yeah, I think you put an elite quarterback. I'm talking like top 5 quarterback in the league, because I don't think
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh man, Patrick Mahomes with Justin Jefferson would be unfair. I think
He's still good.
Who? Yeah.
Patrick, Juju Smith-Schuster as his number 1.
I know that. I didn't think the Chiefs were going to be as good without Tyreek, but I mean, still, when you have Travis Kelce is ridiculous.
Because they can spread the ball out.
No, they're definitely still good. I don't think they're as dangerous on the offensive side without Tyreek, just because you had Tyreek. I mean, Tyreek, he creates a problem himself, but then you have Travis, and those two together with Patrick, that was just almost impossible to stop. As we've seen, teams barely ever did it. So I don't think their offense is as elite without Tyreek, but I think they are definitely still elite because, like we said, you still have Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes together. That's all you need because Travis Kelce is just ridiculous. I mean, I was so bad he was on the Browns. He's a Cleveland guy. He was born in Ohio. I was so bad we had him. He's ridiculous. And Patrick Mahomes is the same too. I mean, he honestly, I thought about this. Who would you? Because I think the top two quarterbacks in the league are. We can't go too much in this because the show's already running long. But to me, without a doubt, is Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. And at the beginning of the season, hold on. At the beginning, yes, I think without a doubt they are. And at the beginning of the season, after the season started, I was like, man, Josh Allen, I think is at number one. But with the way Patrick Mahomes finished the season, I think he proved to be the best quarterback in the league this year.
Patrick is LeBron.
Is Patrick Mahomes the best? Now,
I agree.
am I taking Josh Allen over Joe Burrow right now?
No. Joe Burrow.
I think don't get me wrong. I love Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow
He's the next
I
Tom
love
Brady.
him. I think
He's the next Tom Brady.
he's definitely and I think the way he plays and all that is insane. But I think Josh Allen. I think most people, if you ask them, are they taking Joe Burrow or Josh Allen? They're gonna take Josh Allen just because of the physical traits he has. As big as he is, he can still run it all. He creates another problem in
Who they play this weekend?
Bills.
Yeah.
I thought they had the first round bye.
I thought Kansas City has the first round bye.
I thought it was. I'm pretty. So I don't know who they play. I thought the Bills had the first round bye, but I'm not sure.
It's the Chiefs because of the whole thing.
The Chiefs got it.
But I thought they figured out a thing to
Yeah, if it's I think if it's the Chiefs or the
they played the Bills, play the Dolphins, yeah, and
Tua's not playing.
No,
even with Tua, I think he would.
Who?
The third string quarterback.
Oh, number 13. Oh,
I think even,
that's an easy dub for them.
I think even with Tua, it's gonna be an easy dub for them. But I think I think the Bengals are gonna end up in the Super. I think it's gonna be the Bengals versus the Vikings.
Right.
And
Okay.
Yes,
why the
all
Bengals?
because I'm picking them.
The Vikings?
Yes, coming from
Why-
the NFC. But
now let me
look, this is what you're not getting. All because I'm picking the Bengals. I think they're a better overall team than the Vikings, and I think their mentality is better. The thing they did last year to reach that Super Bowl, I'm not picking them. All because I'm picking them does not mean Joe Burrow's a better quarterback. The team with the better quarterback does not always win. They don't always win.
That's cool. No, I'm cool with the Bengals being the Super Bowl.
But the
Vikings,
Vikings.
how they beating the Eagles? And
Yes,
the 49ers?
they've definitely beaten them.
But
The Eagles and the 49ers?
Yes,
They're beating both
they're
of them?
not gonna have to beat both of them.
They can't beat either.
Yes, they can. They did.
Who's
They
the one
did.
person that locked up Jay Jetta this year?
Bruh,
Okay.
they are without a doubt. They can definitely beat those teams.
Before we about to end the show.
Yeah,
we got 2 minutes here.
So say your
Okay.
final part.
Let me say my final part.
part.
I made a point earlier, right? The Rams had the number one offense last year, right? They had Cooper Kupp almost had 2,000 yards last year, right? That same offense was Minnesota. Minnesota was not good last year at all. Kevin
I think
O'Connell
they had
got the same, brought that Rams offensive playbook to Minnesota. So now we see Justin Jefferson play that Cooper Kupp position, and he got the crown.
But the thing is,
It's that same offense.
yeah. But the thing is also with that is Justin Jefferson was still elite last year. So yeah, he's going even better this season. But he was always elite from the moment he entered the league. So
Cooper's still elite.
yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying he's not only elite because of that offensive game. Like he was putting up numbers since the moment he got into that, and since the moment he got into the league. But as it all comes back to, as you said right here, they got a new offensive coordinator. Yes, Justin Jefferson was still elite, but it took their offense to another level. So let's hope that the new defensive coordinator can take the Browns defense to another level next year, and we'll be having talks of them in the Super Bowl next year, hopefully. But let's. It can happen. Anything happen. You see the offense, Vikings. You gotta have hope at some point.
Saying you get emotional.
We gotta have hope for the Browns. But that's gonna end it there because we are.
Wasn't that shocking, y'all? We seen Ben Parsons.
Nah, I had this one of the outrageous takes came out.
But me?
Come out. I had to.
But I made great points.
But we're gonna have to end it. We're gonna have. So when the Bengals are in the Super Bowl,
It's
we're
going
gonna
to be my Super Bowl is Chiefs versus Philly. That's it.
No. But we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it there. And when the Bengals are Super Bowl trophy in about a month, we're gonna clip this, both their faces, and I'm gonna laugh at the show because that's the that the NFC is beyond weak, but no one thought the Bengals were making the Super Bowl last year. Now they're even better. So we're gonna end things there. Exactly. Okay. And we're gonna end things there. But yeah, Browns. Because we always have to have new hope for them next season.
I have nothing to say, but
something with them.
Come on, like, comment, subscribe. See, he got me almost combobulated. All right, we out.